boys and girls, also welcome to Gordon Guitar. We have Teddy SWIMS here. We had him before on this channel. This time we'll have a song called Someone Who Loved You. So it's a great song. We have this melody going on and then some standard strumming through the entire song. We have one chord progression with 3 chords only. So that's great. Let's start this one up. We need to set our capo here on the 4th fret to match up with the sound here and to have the easiest chords possible. So capo on 4th, and with that we have the chords C, G and E minor. So let's start with the C first. So that is 3rd on A, 2nd on D, open G, 1st B and open E. And then we have the G. So that is 3rd on E, 2nd on A, open D, open G, 3rd B, and 3rd E. And the final chord will be E minor. So that is open E, 2nd A, 2nd D, open G, open B, and open E. Okay, so C, G, E minor, that's what we need. And now let's look at this intro, this melody, which is played in the intro and for the verse as well. So let's start with the G. The chord progression through the entire song will be G, C, E minor, C. And that goes round and round. Okay, so the G part, and now we have this melody going on, and between all the melody notes you will strum on the bass note, so to speak. So just the melody as it is for G will sound like this. And in between all these notes I just played, we have this strumming going on. So it's a kind of an alternative downstrokes we're gonna play here. So it's based upon a G, so we are holding the bass notes here from the G chord, which is the 3rd fret E string and 2nd fret A string. Okay, so we don't use the last down here, we don't need it. Okay, so just the bass here, and I prefer to hold it with my middle finger and my ring finger like this. All right, and with that I am flexible. I can play notes which I need with my other fingers. So it goes like this. All right, so I'm gonna just say bass, and that means you just hit the bass downstroke here on this G chord. So bass 2 times, then comes the first melody note, 2nd fret G string, then bass 1 time, the melody note open B string, then bass 2 times, then comes the 2nd fret G melody note, and bass 1 time, and open B string as the bass note, melody note. So far we're about half into this G. It goes like this. Okay, so bass, bass, 2nd G, bass, open B, bass, bass, 2nd G, bass, open B. Then we're going to continue with the last part of this G, which is the bass 1 time, and then 2nd G string, then bass 1 time, then open G string, bass 1 time, and open G string. That's the full G parts. So slowly it goes like this. Sorry. So with some tempo, and I just pick the notes now to be very obvious with what I'm doing, so I'm not strumming anything here. So with just the picking in some standard tempo goes like this. And you can do this with downstrokes like I showed you in the introduction here of the tutorial. It sounds something like this. When you do that, you need to have short downstrokes so you're not all over the place, because then the melody notes will not be highlighted, and that is what you want. So short downstrokes, keep it around the string you want. So when you're trying to hit the 2nd fret G string, you can go with the open D string there as well and touch it, or the open B or so. Stay somewhere around the area where the note is. Okay? So anyway, that is the G part. Then let's move on to the C. And what you do here with the grip, you just move everything one string down. So you keep the grip, so to speak, with the same fingers. You now have them on the 3rd fret A string and 2nd fret D string. And I prefer to have it ring finger on A and my middle finger on D. Now I'm flexible again with my fingers I need, with the index finger. And the pattern here will be the same. Just now we have the bass note here on the A and D string, so to speak. Okay, so the pattern will be the same. Just how it sounds, the melody will be like this. Okay, so that will be okay. So we have bass 2 times, then 1st fret B string, then bass 1 time, and then comes the 2 melody notes actually, because it's 1st fret B string, and then you release it, pull off to the open B string. Like this. So 1st fret B and open B. And then bass 1 time. Then 2nd fret G string. And bass 1 time. We can stop there. So we're about half in. So to repeat, bass 2 times, 1st fret B string, bass 1 time, then 1st fret, pull off to open B string, then bass 1 time, 2nd G 1 time, and bass 1 time. Then we're gonna continue with the open B, bass 1 time, 2nd fret G string 1 time, bass 1 time, open G string, bass 1 time, and open G string. So that is the C part, okay? So slowly it goes like this. And with some standard tempo. Okay. Now let's move on to the E minor, and that is actually the last part, because the last C now will be played in the same way as the previous C. So the E minor now, you can hold it with the chord as it is actually. So it's the 2nd fret A string and the 2nd fret D string. That will be a bass. Okay, the same now. Pattern is the same as other patterns we just went through, but just different notes. And the melody will be actually played in the same way as the G melody. So okay. So what you do now, you're just gonna apply the same way of playing as you played in the G. You just had a different grip here for the bass. Now you just move on to the E minor and have that as a bass, and everything will be played in the same way. So I'm holding this with my middle and my ring finger again, and that means when you now pick the 2nd fret G string, I think the easiest way to do that is to use your little pinky to get that one, okay? So the grip will be like this, and that differs a little bit from the G, which I believe you picked with the index finger. So you just use another finger to get that 2nd fret G string from the chord, if you understand what I mean here. So otherwise, the notes, technically everything is the same as the G. So that takes us to the last chord, which is the C. And like I mentioned before, you're going to play that in the same way as the C we learned before. And that means we know the melody by now. I'm going to take you through this, okay? So I'm going to go slow so you really understand what we're doing here. Let's go. That's it. All right. Great to know this part, because that is how you're going to start the song, the intro for one round, and then comes the first verse. You're going to continue with this melody for another 2 rounds. That takes us to the chorus, or sorry, the pre-chorus actually. And the pre-chorus is very short. It's just one down stroke for C, and with a long pause after it, and that builds up for the chorus. So the chorus, same chord progression here, but now we need to look at the strumming pattern. All right, since G is the first chord, remember, same chord progression, starts with G. We have this with the, it sounds like this with the strumming pattern. That is 1 round. We can divide it into 2 parts, so separate it to begin with. So the first part will be down, 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 up. Down, 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 up. And the second part will be up, down, 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 up. If we connect these 2 parts, couple rounds. All right, so that means we have the same chord progression. You're going to play 1 strumming round per chord, and you're going to play 2 chord progression rounds. So G, C, E minor, C times 2, 1 round with this sounds. Play that for 2 rounds, and that is your chorus. And from now on, there's nothing new to this one. Second verse goes with 2 rounds of the same strumming. I guess you could play the melody, because it's yeah, there's a little bit of this melody in the background, but the strumming here is more prominent, so I would go with the strumming for 2 rounds in the second verse. The second pre-chorus played in the same way as the pre-chorus we just looked at, 1 down on C. And the second chorus that follows played in the same way as the chorus we just looked at. We have a bridge part later. It's 1 chord progression round, and you will just play 1 down for the following chords: G, C, E minor, and C. So nothing changes there, just 1 down per chord. And that takes us to the third and final chorus. The first chord progression round here continues with this 1 down per chord from the bridge part, and then it goes for the second and final chord progression round with strumming And after these 2 rounds in total here on this final chorus, you will just play 1 down on C and 1 down on G. And that is actually how Teddy Swims' Someone Who Loved You ends. So, a great song to learn, cool melody, not that hard. It's actually very easy grips to learn, and the melody is gonna be pretty repetitive, so it will be played in the same way, so to speak. So, good luck with this one, guys. Hope you enjoy it. If you did, thumb up, and see you next time. Till then, play tuned.